This podcast is sponsored by nobody. Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today I will be welcoming a very funny, very talented lady. Her name is Caroline Langford. She is a British Israeli actress and stand up comedian, and she got to be in the Chuck Norris canon classic film The Delta Force, celebrating its 40th anniversary. And she got to be one half of a couple that was on the airplane being terrorized by the terrorists. And it's going to be great to have her on. She's an LA based comedian now, and she knows some of my past guests, including Susan Sager and Julian Chagrin. She was in the canon Snow White film with him in 1987, and she's had an amazing career. Her father Barry Langford was a director for the BBC, and she had her own local show after she had entertained the troops in the army with a guy by the name of Mike Burston. And this is going to be a great conversation. I've been looking forward to it. She has a novel out called Walking on Eggshells, and it's going to be pretty great. This is the next to last interview for winter January. I'll kick off February on Monday. Got to celebrate Women in Horror Month, maybe Black History Month too, and romantic comedies for Valentine's Day. We will see, but definitely going to start with Women in Horror. I can tell you that. And I got some January holdovers coming on as well. Also, I can't believe I'm saying this. Rest in peace, Catherine O'Hara, comedy legend of my childhood. SCTV, Beetlejuice, Home Alone, After Hours. What a fucking nightmare this is. She's a legend, hilarious woman of genuine talent and warmth, and she will be missed in comedy. I can't believe she's gone. So, yeah, here is my interview with Caroline Langford.
Hello.
Hey, Caroline, welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fabulous. Thanks so much for doing this. This is awesome.
My pleasure.
So, going back in time, your father, Barry Langford, was a director for the BBC, so I can imagine you gravitated toward show business early on in your childhood.
Yes, and according to my father, we're like 13 generations show business. It goes back to performance. One of the relatives performed to the Tsar and all sorts of things. I've never worked it out, and I don't know if he's telling the truth or not, but I'll take it.
Yeah. Oh my God, did he bring you to work?
What do you mean by did he bring me to work?
Just showed you, how his job is run and everything, and you got to see show business being performed.
Oh yes, I mean I always went. I often went with him as a kid to the studios and watched him directing, and I was always around showbiz, and he
Mm-hmm.
was a real extrovert as well. So yeah, and I went to theatrical school as a kid, so it's sort of like when I was a kid, it wasn't. I didn't say when I grow up I want to be an actress. I said I'm going to be. It was like clear to me.
Yeah. So you were singing and acting early on in your childhood?
Oh yes, I always wanted. In fact, I had the opposite of most kids. Most kids, their parents go, "Oh, get up and sing for our guests."
Yeah.
I was like, "I want to sing for your guests," and they tell me, "Go away." It was the opposite.
Yeah. I totally get it. Yeah, I mean, I listened to some of the songs on your website. You have a beautiful voice, and I mean that.
Well, thank you. I actually always said, I mean, I'm not a singer. I'm an actress who can sing. There's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
But I always loved singing. I taught myself guitar. And funny enough, as a teenager, I wasn't like into rock and all that. I was into folk music and country music, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Are you a dancer too?
That's one thing I am awful. Now, my mother was a dancer her whole life,
Yeah.
so I think I rebelled. but I am a most terrible dancer.
Yeah, my
Yes, it's like if I ever had auditions where I needed to dance, I went, forget this, I'm not doing it. In fact, I did a show uh, when I first came to America, and it was the Rocky Horror Show. I played the narrator, and
oh
there's one. There's a couple where I've got to sort of dance. Now, I'm actually okay if I dance on my own. It's when I'm dancing with other people, like I'm a second behind. And in rehearsals, it took forever. I mean, I managed it in the end, but that is my one downfall is dancing.
when did you do the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
That was in New Jersey, I loved it. Usually the narrator is a man,
Mm-hmm.
but the director, he had a different vision,
Mm-hmm.
and he took a woman, and oh, did I have fun. I mean, what a wonderful show that is.
Oh yeah,
I loved it.
the best. Yeah, that's so cool that you got to do that.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So after high school, you joined the military.
So when I was 14, we immigrated to Israel,
Uh huh.
and no, and I was a very angry teenager. My parents had schlepped me all over the world. We've been twice to Australia,
Mm-hmm.
and not only that, anywhere we lived, within a half year to a year, we'd moved somewhere else. I was always the new girl in school.
Mm-hmm.
I was, believe it or not, painfully shy. And by the time it came around for me talking to people and making friends, it was time to leave again. So actually, that cured my shyness. I learned to say hello on the first day. I'm the new girl,
Yeah.
because I knew I didn't have time. We were always moving. But when we went to Israel, that was the final straw for me. No one spoke English. I mean, it was like I was 14. I was so angry of being there. I didn't want to be there. Also, I couldn't understand it. I mean, we'd had a very odd upbringing. Yes, we're Jewish,
Mm-hmm.
but we did Christmas when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And, talk about mixed messages there. My parents always go, yes, we're Jewish. Then why are we doing Christmas? Not that I complained about it. I liked it. But,
Yeah.
well, my father said, good excuse, everyone's having the holiday, we'll do it too. But it's like we were sort of Jewish in name only. And then when I said, why are we going to Israel? Well, we're Jewish. What do you mean now, this is what, By the way, after a couple of years, my brother went religious and has been until today, 40 years later.
Wow.
Very, very religious. So, and they're the ones that often go religious, the ones that come from a secular background. They rebelled. But that didn't happen to me. I was a teenager and I was angry. And yes, I got called for the army, but I managed to get out of it. However,
Mm-hmm.
not that long after, I got a job, and that was performing, singing to soldiers. So I ended up for about a year and a half going to all the camps, the army camps,
Mm-hmm.
and singing to all the soldiers there, which was great fun.
Wow. Did you ever get to meet Bob Hope?
No, because I don't think he came to Israel, did he?
I don't know, but he entertained the troops for many, many years.
Yeah. He was also from a different generation to me. So, I mean, we did have people coming to Israel to perform, Frank Sinatra and all sorts. Which my father he'd be the director. So I often got to see, I remember Joan Baez,
Uh-huh.
and that was what, I loved her. And so, yes. So I sung to soldiers for about a year and a half. And, well, I'll tell you how it all began with my career, because you probably want to know. As I said, I was an angry teenager. And when I got to 18, I said, I'm not staying here any longer. I'm leaving. And I went, and we actually immigrated to Israel from Australia.
Right.
And I even had an Australian accent back then. Anyway, but I said, I'm leaving, and I went to England. And I lived in London. And there I met and fell in love with an Israeli.
Yeah.
So after a couple of years, my father called and he said, "Look, I'm doing a show on TV," and it was sort of a very small version of Idol, like a talent show, and I want you to be the co-host. I said, well, because I had refused to learn Hebrew.
Yeah.
So he said, well, it's all right. We'll tell you what. You only have to just announce the names of the singers, And I was so I was this young blonde thing. Back in the day, there weren't a lot of blondes in Israel. Today there is, with so many Russians have come into Israel, and most of them are not Jewish.
Right.
Like they've married a Jew to get in. But I happen to be a Jew that's blonde, one of few. So in any case, I flew back to Israel and I did that TV show.
Yeah.
And got a lot of attention from it. It was a very back in the day. I mean, it was a very small population. It was only a few million. And they had one station on TV for a few hours a day. So if you were in a show on TV, everybody watched it.
Right.
And there I met a manager. And he was the one that arranged for me to sing to soldiers. So after I'd been doing that about a year or so, he said that he's got a friend who's doing a movie, and I should go for an audition.
Right.
And I had no idea what it was for. And again, my Hebrew was very broken, though it seemed that people loved the way I spoke Hebrew with an English accent. At any case, I went to this audition, and it was candid camera.
Oh, yeah, Alan Funt.
And yes, and by then I was a very mischievous type. And so there was a whole lot of girls there auditioning for this one part, one day filming. And I didn't really care one way or the other, so I wasn't nervous, and I was having fun. And then I said to the director there, the creator, I said, listen, I got an idea. Why don't I do blah, blah, blah? The thing that I said, why don't I go down, stop a man in the street, and tell him I'm cold and I want a hug? So he said, sure, go do it. And I did, to a whole lot of different guys. You remember, I was a young girl. I think I wasn't wearing a bra.
Yeah.
You've got this blonde, pretty girl without a bra coming up going very sweetly, excuse me, I'm really cold. Could you hug me, please? And I only stopped men, of course. Anyway, after I came back up, Yuda, that's the director, he sent all the girls home who fired daggers with their eyes towards me. And I spent the rest of the day doing more tricks and more tricks. And I was having the time of my life. After the weekend, I said to my manager, hey, remember that audition I did last week? Did I get it? He said, no, you didn't. I said, oh, that's a shame. I enjoyed myself. He said, no, you didn't. They've decided to write you in the lead part. So I got that movie, the lead, and it turned out to be one of the biggest selling movies in the country.
Wow.
And while I was doing that movie, the makeup girl said that she was going to do another movie and she's going to talk to the director. And the director was a man called Atzi Dayan, and the son of Moshe Dayan. Anyway, I went for an audition there, and they changed the script so she'd be American. By the way, when I speak Hebrew, you can't tell if I'm English or American.
Yeah.
And that was also a lead, and I got that one. So I had two movies that came out. My first movies were two movies.
Right.
That came out, and both of them were the biggest success. So I became like, by the time I went for a third movie, the PR department didn't know what to do with me anymore because I'd done every newspaper and magazine.
Yeah.
And then I end up marrying Atzi Dayan, the director.
Oh wow. Oh, I wanted to ask when you did that show with Mike Burston, like what did you guys do? Were you guys doing sketches, interviews? What?
No, the one with Mike Bernstein, that was
Mhm.
a talent show.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it was called. Uh, gosh, now what was the name of it? I tell you something. Give a chance,
Give it a chance.
and a lot of them became very famous after performing on that show.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I saw the Zoom conversation you two did during the pandemic. I could see how much you two still love each other as like, showbiz kindred spirits.
Yes. Oh, Mike's wonderful, and he lives here in LA.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yes.
that's awesome that
Yes.
you two are still in touch all these years later.
Yes. Yes. We're all getting a bit old, but he's much older than me, so.
So you do these movies and they become successful. How do you come to be cast in the Delta Force?
And Assi was also in the Delta Force as well, but on the second unit.
Uh,
Um, Probably because Assi was in it, and Menachem Golan, he decided to. I don't even think I auditioned. I don't believe. No, I didn't even audition for him. And it was funny because Delta Force, you had the Jews, the non-Jews, and the Arabs. So it seemed like the majority of the Israelis played the Arabs.
yeah.
The American actors that they brought in played the Jews, and I played what they called the Shiksa, the non-Jews.
Yeah. I know it's so hilarious. Yeah, Chuck Norris had just become, one of Cannon's new huge action stars.
Yes.
Um, him and Charles Bronson, after their careers in the mainstream kind of fizzled, Cannon kind of kept them going. And I found out that Charles Bronson was supposed to be cast in Lee Marvin's role, but then I guess his schedule on Murphy's Law went over, and allegedly there's a poster of the two of them, Bronson and Norris, out there. I have never seen it. I'd like to see it. That would have been interesting. But my brother had the poster with Norris and Marvin when I was a kid, when the movie first came out. Yeah, my brother collected posters and he had all the Cannon movies like this and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. So like that's how the Delta Force first came on my radar and stuff. I
Oh, I
didn't.
didn't know that. About Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
Lee Marvin, what a lovely guy. We had such fun. We'd sit and talk. He had such stories. He actually died not long after that film, but
Yeah.
he was very, very funny. Actually, his stories were very funny.
He had an inflamed colon during production, I read.
Oh, I didn't know about that. I didn't see him rushing off to the bathroom.
Yeah.
A few of them also. Susan Strasberg died after as well.
Yeah. God, you were on this airplane with legends. There was George Kennedy, Shelley Winters, Joey Bishop, Lainey Kazan. Do you have any good?
Martin Balson, George Kennedy.
Oh, that's right. Balsam was there.
Gosh, yeah, there were so many. It was amazing. We had this sort of as I say, the American actors, and then there were some Israeli actors on our set, and that was. I was there. There was a few of us. There was Heli, who played one of the stewardesses, and then a couple of them that played the terrorists.
Robert Forster, I gotta say, he was scary and believable as the terrorist. Like you literally
Yes,
forget that he's Robert Forster. Like when you watch this movie, it's kind of like when Robert Downey Jr. Played the black man in Tropic Thunder. It was the same kind of thing.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, they did a great job. And I can tell you, we filmed that in the middle of summer in Tel Aviv at the airport,
Hmm.
out in the field, and on a real plane. And the heat, the humidity.
Yeah.
They couldn't have the AC on because of the noise. So the sweating that you see is authentic. It was like being inside an oven filming. It was really, I'll never forget how hot it was.
Yeah. So you obviously got to spend some time with Lee Marvin. Did you also get to spend time with Chuck Norris?
No, because he was on the one on the second unit, the one that Assie was in.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I spent time with got Lainey Kazan. She was a very funny, very lovely
Yeah.
lady. All of them really. You know, we'd hang out. You know, on how it is on the set.
Mm-hmm.
You just there's hours to just sit around, and it was a lot of fun. And I enjoyed myself on that film. I can tell you. It's funny because my husband at the time, Assi, I think he did like weeks of filming, and he's really in. You know, he plays the Israeli commander.
Right.
We did 5 weeks filming, and you hardly see us because
Yeah.
when they finished filming, they had to trim it down a lot, like take out about an hour or so. So they took a lot of the airplanes. So
Yeah.
you know, it was more of the action they kept in.
It's funny, this movie and this movie that Chuck Norris did before called Code of Silence, they were both promoted as typical Chuck Norris action movies, but he's on screen very little in both of them. It's like ensemble movies and with all
Yes,
these character actors carrying the movie, and then he just comes in for the action. It's funny how that worked.
yes, yes, yes. So I mean, I saw him once or twice, but Chuck Norris, but his son was in with us.
His son?
Yes, Chuck Norris's son acted in the film.
Oh,
What was his name?
I have to look that up. I know his brother is Aaron Norris, who's a director. Um, but
This was his son.
mhm.
Um, I'm looking on
Was it
IMDb.
Mike? Was it Mike or Eric?
I do know that it was his son, so
Hmm.
he's got to have the same last name.
Yeah,
So maybe it was like his first role or something.
yeah.
Yes, and who was in sort of an unknown at the time was Kim
Delaney.
Delaney.
Yeah, Kim Delaney. She played the nun,
Delaney.
the young
She
nun.
played the nun, exactly.
Yeah,
So, you know, she was in it. She wasn't really known then. That, I think, after that, she became well known. I'm going down the list. Why am I not seeing? Yes, Eric Norris.
Eric Norris. That's right. Yeah,
Yes.
and Bo Svensson played the pilot. Now he was a badass action star in the '70s, and I've seen him do interviews lately. He's very bitter and rude and all of that stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, it's pretty sad how someone can be on the top of their game one minute and then the next just completely, change like that.
That's
Um,
a shame.
yeah. Now Menachem, I mean, I've talked to Austin Trunick, who's written a couple books about Cannon, and Menachem was a shrewd businessman, of course, but like as a
Yes.
director, what was he like?
Oh, you were serious. And it was all about the money.
Yeah.
I can tell you one time, Lainey Kazan, she did a trick. There's a scene where we've all got to evacuate quickly from the plane, you know, down a slide.
Right.
And she got us all coming out singing, "Give my regards to Broadway," as we came out and split down. He was furious. You know, he was like, "Do you know how much every minute costs?" You know? Oh, that was very funny. And, you know, we all saw laughter because, you know, his accent, he used to go, "Action."
That's hilarious. The guy who played your husband, Aaron Kaplan, did you know him already?
Yes, I already knew him. Yeah, nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a singer too.
Yeah, and I think he
Yeah.
became a producer like later.
Yes,
Yeah.
he did. Yes.
You
Um,
you wore a lot of bead necklaces. Did you already own those?
oh, no, I don't think so. I think they stuck that on me.
Oh, yeah, they must have been heavy.
All I remember is the heat. You know, that's
Hmm.
what I remember. It was just so bloody hot. But
Yeah.
otherwise, I had a lot of fun on that movie. Also for us in Israel, this was an American movie, you know.
Yeah.
And at the time, so they had the American actors, they were SAG, and our union wasn't much of it back then. So it was like Menachem would film the SAG actors so they could leave at a certain time or have their lunch. You know, there's all the rules with SAG. And us, then he'd work with us if he could do scenes with us without them. Because
Yeah.
us, he could work, 18 hours if he wanted to.
Yeah. This movie holds the record for the longest canon film, 2 hours and 10 minutes, whereas most of their movies were like 85 to 95 minutes. It's funny how that worked out.
And they trimmed another hour and a half off it. That's how much they filmed. Yeah. I mean, it was a huge, for Israel, for us in Israel, it was a huge production. It was the first time there were trailers. Making movies in Israel before that, it was just, you're on the set, you're lucky if you get a chair, grab a chair if you can. Suddenly I arrived and there's a trailer, but in fact I didn't even want to be in. I was used to just sitting out. I loved always just chatting with everyone, and that was more fun. And in fact, years later, in America, I did a film here, and there was a trailer, and I come out because I don't want to just sit on a trailer, I'm used to sitting with him. And the second I come out, yes, can we get you anything? And I was like, I think I want to go and get a cup of tea. We'll bring you the cup of tea. And I wanted to say, don't bring me that. I want to sit with everyone. But it's not the same. Actually, I enjoyed the way we made movies in Israel. It was like probably how they make student movies here. Back then, I mean, the budget was ridiculous. But when we were making movies for Israel, as I say, the population was small.
Mm-hmm.
We did a whole movie. We filmed the whole movie in 10 days with another maybe week tops for what they call completion, stuff that they have to add on. That was the whole movie. But it was always great fun. We were like one big family.
Yeah, I mean, it sure seems like you guys had a lot of fun on that.
Yes, so that when this big American movie came, it was unlike anything we had done. It was, everyone wanted to, all the actors wanted to be in it, so I was very lucky that I got to be in it. And,
yeah. Then,
memories.
Then you got to be in another canon movie of Snow White.
Yes.
How was that experience?
Again, it was filmed. I don't know why they bloody well filmed them in August.
Yeah.
And we were wearing these heavy clothes, singing "Let It Snow" with 100 degrees. But also fun to do. Yes, he did all those fairy tales, didn't he?
Yeah. He did the Puss in Boots one with Christopher Walken.
That's right. I did another movie that Christopher Walken. Now I don't. Deadline, I think it was called.
Was it that one?
It could have been called Deadline. It was Christopher Walken that I remember.
Yeah. Did you get to work with Diana Rigg?
No, because the scenes that we did, the songs, I don't believe she was in.
Okay.
I don't remember, so probably not then.
Yeah, because Billy Barty's in it too, and
Yes.
I heard he was a real lech. One of my favorite stories ever. He was making a movie or a TV show with Julie Newmar, and he told her that he wanted to perform cunnilingus on her, and she said, "Well, if you do and I hear about it."
Good one.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yes. I love that. That's hilarious. Is that where you met Julian Chagrin?
No, I think I'd met Julian over the years. Possibly my father directed him.
Uh-huh.
That's quite possible. I can't actually remember where I met him. But he's a great guy.
He's a very
also,
great...
you've got to remember, when you live in Israel, any of the Anglos, we get together. We're a small group of English speakers, so when you suddenly meet an American or an Australian or whatever, you have that in common immediately, which is always fun.
Yeah, I can't
Like
remember.
that.
I can't remember if I brought this movie up to him or not, but we had some major technical issues during our conversation. I had to do a lot of editing, but it was a great talk. He's a very nice man.
Oh yeah, he is, and very funny and
Yeah,
very talented.
I
Yes.
remember he had trouble hearing me a couple times, right? And he told me I sounded like I was singing.
Yeah.
Yeah. This might be a joke from your website. I do not know, but you won an Israeli Oscar for the big gag.
No, I won the Israeli Oscar for Abdi's movie, that first movie I did, King for a Day.
Oh, okay.
It's called King for a Day.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I misread that. I
Yeah.
misread that. I thought it was funny though, because the gag is kind of a body movie, right?
Yeah, well, no, the big gag is the candid camera. What happened was, after that first candid camera, more
Hmm.
in those days, because I said television was very in its infancy,
Yeah,
they made candid camera as a feature length film.
yeah.
So as I say, that first movie was, box office, one of the top. I went on to do three more movies for him. One of which is we went to South Africa and did the big gag.
Uh-huh.
And I can tell you some interesting stuff socially when you think about it.
Uh-huh.
I did some of the same gags in Israel that I did in South Africa, and the response was totally different. I'll give you an example. It's one of my favorite ones to do.
Hmm.
Remember that when I'm in Israel, my Hebrew is broken.
Hmm.
So I stop a man on the street and I say to him, "Excuse me, I can't read Hebrew." And I came home and my boyfriend changed the locks on the door and left me this letter. Can you read it to me? Now, I'll tell you what was written in the letter, right? It
Hmm.
says, "Dear Billy, you're a slut. Since I discovered that everyone's been on you, I've decided to get off you." That's not the letter, right? Of course, I'm not meant to know. By the way, I can tell you this was the only time ever when I did all the gags on people that I was having trouble keeping a straight face. Because I knew what was written in that letter, right? So the first man says to me, "It's not a nice letter." And so I go, "Well, what do you mean? You need to tell me." So he's really blushing, this guy, and he goes, he says you're a slut.
Hmm.
Now I'm going, what is this word? What does that word mean? And the poor guy's got to try and explain what it means to me. And then he reads, "Since everyone's been on you, I've decided to get off you." And I went, hang on, what do you mean, since everyone's been on me? What is the population of Israel? And he says, I said, I only had 20 a week. Well, this guy nearly passes out, and now he looks like he wants to be number 21.
Yeah.
Anyway, I tried so hard to keep a straight face. Now, we did the same thing in South Africa. I said, my boyfriend's written it in Afrikaans, and I don't understand Afrikaans. Can you read it?
Hmm.
So the first man takes it, reads it, throws the letter at me and goes, "You're a slut," and walks off. The next one is a woman, and she says, "You take this bastard to court and you sue him for everything." You see the difference?
Yeah. Shit. God. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was funny in South Africa, that gag, but it was funnier in Israel because every guy I stopped looked very embarrassed, but then looked like they wanted to be one of the numbers. That was the difference.
Shit. In 2005, you did a horror movie called Expiry Date. I'm a huge horror fan, but I've never seen this. What was that like to make?
I have no bloody idea because it's something wrong on IMDb.
Oh, damn it.
I have no idea what that movie is and why I'm in it.
Okay. I
There's your answer.
like
You
I
go,
said,
what was it like? I have no bloody idea.
Like I said, I had no idea. I had never even heard of it. So what year did you move to LA and start doing stand up?
And we moved to LA about 20 years ago. Before that, we were living in New Jersey.
Right.
Um, and I had wanted to do stand up much younger,
Yeah.
but I still was at a age where I cared very much what anyone thinks. And the only good thing about getting older is that you stop giving a damn. And you realize that you can get on stage and complain about everything. Everything that bothers you, you can go on stage, complain about it, and it seems to make people laugh. So, I would say this was about 6, 7 years ago, but then COVID happened, and I'm a major germphobe. So for the 4 years of COVID, or 3 years, I didn't perform. I did Zooms, but they're not the same, believe you me.
No.
Oh my God, it's like if you want to think you've died, do stand up on Zoom. It's awful. But I love doing stand up.
Yeah.
I love it. It's I've always done comedy. Most of the movies, not all, but most of the ones I've done have been comedies. And I've always felt that's my forte. But stand-up is something entirely different. It's
Yeah.
But I've still got the timing, the natural timing, and
Yeah. I did for 10 years up in San Francisco. I loved actually doing it. I just didn't love the politics backstage and all of that stuff. That was the
yes, that
only thing I
part,
don't like.
other comedians, forget it. But
Yeah.
if you just love doing it, I mean, it's a sort of thing that you don't have to sort of wait around. I mean, do I work as an actor? Yes. I often would fly to Israel to do some TV. Now, my son, the son I have from Assi, Leo Dayan, he wrote a series about his life with his father and drugs. It's called Normal. It's not yet in America. Actually, HBO South America took it, but not yet here. And he got me to play the mum, which was playing myself, which was a very odd thing to do because he wrote it as a stoned young guy. It's through his eyes of how he sees his mother. But it's not actually how I was. So it was hard to do. So I remember I went to my acting coach. I go, how do I play myself? And he said to me, you don't. You take it as you're playing someone else. Because otherwise it was screwing with my head.
Yeah.
And when I did those days filming, my son would not come to the set. It upset him too much. And I said to him, I know this is the way you saw me, but that's not how I am. And he says, I know, but that's how I saw you then when I was using. Thank goodness he's sober now and a lot older, and we have a good relationship now. But during then, that was hard. But I did it. And also, it was a very dramatic part, and I was used to doing comedies. So it was very challenging. I know that it's the other way around. Dramatic actors have a hard time doing comedy. For me, it's the other way. Comedy is easy. So tell me, did you stop doing stand-up?
I stopped in 2016. I briefly went back in 2018, and that was it. I just didn't like the politics, and just.
What do you mean by that?
The backstage politics of just like, oh, he sucks, let's get somebody else. This person's stealing my joke, this person's hitting on my girlfriend, just the stupid petty shit backstage, or just I went through that a lot, and especially in the last couple of years, and I'm so much better off not doing stand up. I have memories to talk about, but I just love doing my podcast. It's just been a lifesaver for me.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad. We have to find ourselves. I love doing stand. I actually love doing stand up. The other stuff around, I try to ignore.
Hmm.
Um, for me, it's a little different because most of them are young, and I'm an older woman now.
Yeah.
Um, so they're more respectful to me. Not to say there aren't those occasionally you can feel it or you can hear it and all that. But I'll tell you something funny because not only am I older,
Hmm.
but the British accent is actually a plus in stand-up, it seems. One day I get to a show and there was a heckler in the audience. So the guy just before me, he was heckling him. That the guy, the comedian, ended up bursting into tears
Hmm.
and leaving the stage. And then it was my turn, and I'm going, oh my god, this has never happened to me before. And the heckler, the drunk, when I came on and just spoke like my first line,
Hmm.
to my surprise, he suddenly told everyone, shush, be quiet. He did the opposite. He was like all respectful to me.
Yeah.
He quietened everyone down. So I think it might be because British and older, and I get away with the British thing. I use a lot of British slang, and Americans love it, you see. So
Yeah.
that's in my favor. But, I enjoy the writing of it. Did you enjoy writing the gags?
Oh yeah, the writing. I mean, I've been a writer my whole life in general. I started writing screenplays when I was 12. So like, yeah, I love the
Wow.
writing process, even though it can be tedious at times, and sometimes you're trying to come up with something creative and you can't, you know. But I loved the writing. The writing was just fantastic, and I was a pretty good joke writer. You know, I mean, I wasn't. People weren't like seeking me out to like help them write jokes or anything like that, but I was pretty good at the writing part of it, I think.
Yes. So what I did in the last few years, I might as well plug it while I'm here, is
Your book.
I wrote a book. Oh, so you do know about the book.
Oh yeah, Walking on Eggshells.
And it's my parents. I
Hmm.
took my parents, I changed it so it's, their names and so I would say that 50% of the book actually happened and 50% is my, fabrication.
Right.
But I turned it into a saga, basically. Um, and you haven't read it yet, have you?
No, I have not.
No. So each chapter, it's in first person. It's either him or her.
Yeah.
And basically, my father, incredibly talented man, but like many, he was a extreme narcissist.
Yeah.
And so it was always about him. And she was a young girl. He was 28. She was 16 in the 50s. Well, earlier than that. But when they got married, it was the 50s.
Hmm.
And, a woman's place was with her husband. And no matter what, she had to obey him. Because many of the girls that read this book go, why didn't she go to police? Why didn't she leave? And I say, back in those days, you didn't. This was how, if you were abused by your husband, it just means you did something wrong that provoked him. And therefore, you should correct your behavior. It's your fault. And that's how it was.
Hmm.
But this book goes from the 40s all the way up to the 70s, early 70s, ending in Israel.
Huh.
So I have
Interesting.
Australia in there as well. And so basically, it's really her story. But like I say, and what I loved about writing it with each person was, let's say he abused her and that's her chapter is
Right.
telling it. Then you go to the next chapter and him, and he'll say, well, I'm not a bastard. But if she hadn't have said what she said, I wouldn't have had to do what I did. And
Right.
that's typical of a narcissist.
Yeah.
It's never their fault. It's always if he hit her, it's her fault. And so I enjoyed getting both points of view out, him and her. Anyway, it's a very light read, I'm told. It's a very fast read, and available on Amazon. Is my plug.
How long did it take to write?
It took me a long time because I wrote, and my father was still alive,
Mm-hmm.
and I was having a lot of trouble, and I put it away. First of all, then I said it's crap, and I put it away, and then he died,
Mm-hmm.
and COVID happened, and I was stuck in the house,
Mm-hmm.
and I found it, and I went, you know what? It's not too bad. And then I really sat down and took it seriously. And then I got an editor to do the next draft. Worked on it till it was polished.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, and I was refusing to self-publish, as many do. I need someone to take it. If I self-publish, I'm not going to know if it's any good or not. But if a publisher takes it, then it sort of said, okay. And the publisher did take it, a small publishing house, but I was very happy.
Mm-hmm.
And there you have it.
Wow.
I have a book. I'm going to write a second one. I've already started
Mm-hmm.
because it ends up in the early 70s Israel, and the second book will be me, my story.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask you, like, would you ever write a memoir? Because you got great stories.
Oh, yes. So I didn't want to write a memoir. I decided to continue on with the book, but through my eyes. I once said if I do a memoir, I've got to wait for everyone to die.
I know. It's funny. I started writing my memoir 5 years ago, and I stopped after a while because I started crying. I was putting stuff down that I had never even told my closest friends, right? And then I'm thinking to myself, God, should I wait until certain people pass away to write true stories and everything? Because
See,
you
that's
know,
the problem.
yeah,
I remember when the whole Me Too movement came out.
yeah,
Listen, we got all that stuff. Back then, you didn't know any different. But one of those directors,
mm-hmm,
he's still going strong.
mm-hmm,
I mean, he's old, but he's going strong. And it's not, look, I can't be sued. It really happened. But
yeah,
it's just, I don't know. And then, of course, do I want my son reading these things,
yeah,
In fact, my son, and now my grandkids, here's the thing, when you're a young girl,
yeah,
you never think about the future.
no,
Like, you can take your clothes off in films, no problem. But you don't know that one day you're going to have grandchildren who don't want to see that. So my son knows certain movies he must not watch. But unfortunately, they come up on TV. They
yeah,
play the Israeli movies.
yeah,
And my grandson, suddenly one day, boom, opens the TV and there's grandma stark naked.
yeah,
It's not that I never did sex. Thank
yeah,
goodness, never did sex scenes. When I've been naked, I've played like the free spirit hippie who walks around naked.
yeah,
So and they've been comedies, but still, I don't want my family seeing it. And likewise in the book, it's like, do I want my son to know these things? The things he knows. He has said to me, Mum, you need to write about your career in the 80s.
mm-hmm,
He said, today it's a different industry. And yes, it is. It's a totally different industry. He said, people will be fascinated of how it was back then. But again, it means I have to eliminate a lot of stories, and that's a shame.
oh yeah. Yeah, I listened to one of those Diva Bar videos and I heard your stand up, that bit you said about about animals getting rabies and becoming horny. That had me on the floor. I thought that was funny.
I have a line when I come out right in the beginning and I insult everyone, but somehow, because I come out and I go, I'm looking around the room and I don't see one person that could understand what I'm going through. There's not one person here could understand how hard it is to get older when you're good looking.
Yeah.
So I basically said everyone's ugly, but and by the way, that's bloody true.
Yeah.
I can tell you. I have friends, they were ordinary, plain looking, right?
Right.
They now just look like everyone else, and that's fine. They also did not have expectations. And as a woman, when you go from being, looked at all the time to suddenly invisible at a certain age, it's very hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I have refused to go the plastic surgery route because I can't stand the way they look, because they look like women who have done plastic surgery. I don't want that look.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, getting older, it's no fun. I get so tired of people going, I meet Israelis, LA is full of Israelis, and they say, oh my God, you were so gorgeous. And I go, could I correct your sentence there? And then they'll add, well, of course, you still look good. But when you were young, I was in love with you. And, and that is hard. Whereas men, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
Because men can mature and, still look good old. But for women, it is difficult.
It is difficult.
But on the other hand, it's not who I am. Who I am is me, not necessarily the outside part. But unfortunately, people judge, don't they?
Yes.
By the way, and and also people don't realize that when they say that to me, I'm going, great, thank you very much. Now I'm in competition with my younger self because that's what they're telling me. You were, and it's actually an insult, but they think they're giving me a compliment.
Yeah. They're assholes.
People just don't realize, and I know from a lot of women that they get told things like that, and they don't, and it upsets them. It's like, could we go back in time? Oh, I wish. Telling you about doing the candid camera, doing the Delta Pulse. Yes, I wish I could go back and do that again because they were great fun. And when you're young, you don't think about you're going to get older.
Yeah.
Things change. I mean, attitudes change as well. My attitude is different. I know I'm not going to be 20 again. Nor would I want to. I was pretty screwed up in the head. But that's the trouble with the 20s, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how old you are, but
42.
How old are you?
42.
Well, you're still young. You're my son's age exactly. But do you think about your 20s? Were you screwed up in your 20s?
Oh yeah, I was really screwed up. Thank God for my car crash when I was 31 because that set me straight.
Oh wow! So what? It changed your attitude to things, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't happen overnight. It took a few years, but it set me straight. It was like I changed my attitude. I started doing examining. I started just taking things in and being introspective. Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah, I know. And most people in their 20s, it's like, sometimes I hear the things they come out with, and I think, you just wait, As the great Bernard Shaw said, youth is wasted on the young.
Yeah.
Couldn't be more accurate.
It's true.
It took me until probably your age to sort myself out because several marriages, and I was married. Who was I until I did therapy and learned that I basically twice married unconsciously my father.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as he was my father, a very, very good-looking, narcissistic actor, director, addict. My father was a pill addict,
Yes.
as he was every pill addict.
My dad was addicted to pills in his younger years too.
Yeah, and it's like, and when I was with Ashley, I was a vegan. I wouldn't even take a Advil, so I've never had a drink in my life. I've been around drugs and booze my whole life, and I've never done it. Thank goodness, because I probably wouldn't be here now. But I got attracted to that,
Yeah.
So it took me to your age, and thank goodness, because when I got to your age, I'd done therapy and all that, and I met my husband that I'm with now for 20-something years, and he's nothing like my father. I finally got it right. And he's not in showbiz, whereas the other two were.
Love it.
And I have a child from my first husband, and I have a daughter from my second husband, Michael Margotta. He is a big he was an actor for many years, and he's a big acting coach in Italy, actually. But whenever I meet Italians, I ask them, hey, actors, do you know Michael Margotta? And they go, Michael Margotta, it takes 6 months to get into his class,
Love it.
Yeah.
And you've known Susan Sager for a long time?
No, hardly, barely.
I love her. Oh my God. So she did that movie Eating Raoul, and I had her on for the 40th anniversary a few years ago, and we just became instant friends. Like, our podcasts are nasty and dirty. I mean, she's got a dirty mind, and I just love her.
Good. Well, I've actually been careful talking to you and being clean.
Yeah.
But I've tried not to be filthy.
I get that. So Walking on Eggshells is available on Amazon and on your website as well?
Yes, and Barnes and Nobles as well. It's available. And it's available as an ebook or as a paperback.
Love
People
it.
of my age prefer paperbacks, it seems. We like to hold the book.
Yeah.
Otherwise, actually, I do read on a Kindle.
I do too.
I got used to it. But only fiction, like non-fiction and anything else. I prefer the physical book.
I read my guests' biographies. I read books they've written, like erotica and stuff like that.
On what?
On Kindle.
Oh. Yeah. Look, the Kindle, and I have to say, it's great in the sense that you now not got a zillion books in the house. Because generally once you read a book, are you going to read it again? So it's in your library. So this way, Kindle, you're saving on space. But it's not quite the same, is it, as holding a book? There's something about the book. Especially when you were born in the 80s, weren't you?
Yep.
You were born in 83?
1983.
Yeah. When's your birthday?
June 6th.
So my son is March 17th, so he's a few months.
Oh.
So you're going to be 43 this year.
My parents are both Pisces. My mom is February 21st, and my dad's March 4th.
And you're a Gemini.
Yes. I am a pure Gemini, thick and through.
And how does that work with Pisces?
It's tough, I'll tell you. I have an addictive personality, like everyone in my family does, and with addiction, it's not good because I haven't just been an alcoholic. I've also been a sex addict as well.
Well, with an addiction, as you know, as I say, that's what my father was. That's what my husbands were. Not the one now, thank goodness. The others. I myself have never touched anything. Because I'm incredibly addicted. Unfortunately, the thing I've done all these years, even now, is I'm a smoker.
Okay.
And it's bigger than anything. And I can tell you something. When my son was in rehab here, and I would go every week to the family group, I'd speak to the guys, and they all said heroin was easier to get off than cigarettes.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, because heroin, you're not doing it 20 times a day. You're not going and buying it in a shop. You know, heroin, how many times are you doing it? Once a day, whatever. Cigarettes, you don't smoke then? You've never smoked?
I did for a brief window when I was like 19 or 20, and then I stopped.
The thing about cigarettes is, the physical addiction, they say 72 hours is gone. So you think, okay, well, what's the big deal? It's the emotional side to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I did therapy on it. I learned that it's my father, because he was a heavy smoker and, so what? I might know why. It's bigger than anything for me. Anything. And I'm in LA where it's like, I'm not in Europe where everyone smokes. I'm LA where people look at you like you are
Yeah.
a social outcome, like a leper if you smoke.
For me, it was a conformity thing. I just did it because I thought everyone was doing it because I was in junior college and everyone smoked out there in the courtyard. So that's why I did it.
Well, luckily, you didn't get hooked. I can tell you, I did my DNA and I found out that I have a gene for nicotine.
Yeah.
It said alcohol I'm not addicted to. It would be cocaine and nicotine. Well, luckily, I've not done coke because I would have got hooked.
I did it a couple times. It was not good for me. I have a very sensitive nose in general, so having it go up my nose, it was just uncomfortable.
I find the whole thing repulsive. People stick stuff up my nose.
Yeah.
Just the look of it. But I can understand that. Anything amphetamine-wise, that was my son. He got hooked on Ritalin. He grinded it up and snorted it like coke, and that was terrible. Thank goodness, he did rehab for 2.5 years, and now he's sober. But he goes to meetings all the time, and he's got to keep. Addiction is a disease for life.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, okay, you're cured. There's no such thing. You can relapse after 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
Addiction is such a terrible disease. And I know as a smoker,
Yeah.
I'm always told by the doctors, you've got to stop, your lungs are bad. And I know that, so you've got logic. My lungs are bad. Why the hell am I smoking? But it's bigger than anything. I only another addict can understand.
My mom smoked 35 years. She quit 20 years ago. We never thought she would. She didn't even think she would, and she was healthy for a long time. She just recently had to have a pacemaker put in, but she's good.
And how old is she?
She's
In the 60s?
she's 71. She's gonna be 72 in a few weeks.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, thank goodness my daughter does not smoke, and she's actually, one of these new age vegan type hippies.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad because it's in our genes. And my son, there's no way he couldn't not become an addict from both sides of the family, his father and our side as well. Unfortunately, addiction is a terrible, terrible thing. And it's so hard, and people who are not addicts don't understand. This is why I can understand addicts of anything,
Mm-hmm.
Because I know what it's like. You've got the logic. I'm a major, major germphobe.
Yeah.
So during COVID, I wouldn't go out. But if I didn't have cigarettes, I would have gone out. I would have got.
Right.
And if they suddenly made it illegal, I'd be the one on the corner going, got any Marlboro? I'd be like that. I mean, it's a terrible thing, addiction. Terrible. And I'm sure if anyone's listening who is addicted, they will understand what I'm talking about. I'm sure you do.
I certainly do. Yeah, like I said, I've had all these addictions in my family and in my life. I totally get it. All we can do is just, turn over a new leaf and pray for the best.
Yeah, and do you go to AA and all that?
I
Or,
I tried it a long time ago, even before I was sober, and it's just like I don't believe like half of what people say in those meetings. you know?
What do you mean why you don't understand what they say?
No, I don't believe them.
Oh, you don't believe? You think they're making it up?
Yeah, because a lot of them are there for court order reasons. They're not there because they really want to get changed, you know?
Yes. I
Yeah,
tell you the funniest one I ever went to,
yeah.
Nicotine Anonymous.
Oh, yeah,
You go there, everyone's smoking outside. Then you go in, and you go, you hear, "Hi, I'm Fred. I'm a nicotine addict, and I haven't smoked for," he looks at his watch, 4.5 minutes. It's a joke. And then as soon as the nicotine addict meeting ends, everyone goes and lights up. So what's the point? Why are they even there?
right.
It's, I mean, it's ridiculous. Uh, yeah,
It,
there is no rehab for cigarettes. There should be, by the way.
there should be, yeah. I'm sure in the future there will be, but yeah, there isn't. But
Yeah.
Caroline, I thank you so much for coming on today. And
Oh, it's my pleasure.
yes, and next time I'm in LA, I'll come check you out wherever you're performing.
It would be lovely, and I'd love to meet you.
Yes, that would be fantastic. When I go to LA, I do like to go to a comedy show and see comedians that I've interviewed or I knew when I did stand up and stuff, and I always have a blast doing that. But I
Great.
I hope the next book turns out very well for you, and this book continues to do well, and be safe out there.
Thank you. And you too. All the best to you.
Thank you. You too.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Well, there you have it. Caroline Langford, ain't she a sweetheart? Oh my God. That conversation got very heavy near the end, talking about addiction and stuff. I was just like, wow. We went from lighthearted to pretty heavy, but I enjoyed it. I mean, she's a very deep and insightful person, and I'm so glad we got to talk today. I'm going to add her as a friend on Facebook. She's really, really special. That was a great conversation, great lady. And yeah, the Delta Force, you couldn't make that movie today, but hey, we got the memories and we got to celebrate it today with Caroline Langford. That was extraordinary. Well, until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes.